Give yourself all the time you need to arrive into practice today. Whatever we practice helps us become what we will be next. So we spend so much time in just our habit energy, but here we are on the mat. What can we learn? What can we imprint? You might like to just become aware of your spine. Just trace from the back of the head, the back of the neck, in between the shoulder blades, in between the ribs, all the way down to the tailbone. Just keep your shoulders heavy. You might tuck in your chin just a little. Maybe bring your awareness to the parts of your feet and your legs that are connecting to the ground right now. Maybe ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Just notice whether you feel a little scattered or calm. Not suggesting good or bad, right or wrong, just noticing this day, this moment. You might to tune into the sounds around you. It might be a barking dog or sound of birds in the distance. Today we'll be taking maybe just half a dozen or so shapes. The Yin Yoga practice is one of rest and repair, but not easy necessarily. We'll hold some shapes that will be quite difficult, quite strong shapes where you'll have strong feeling, maybe an element of discomfort in the joints. We aim to allow our energy to move through the body, through our connective tissue, our fascia. As we hold the shapes, we strengthen our joints. We can subtly change the plasticity of our body. And I just invite you to notice how you feel after each shape. And every shape is just an opportunity for a short meditation. So we might even ask ourselves some very simple questions and see where our mind takes us in each shape. Not trying to find an answer, just noticing wherever our mind might take us on a journey to. All right, our very first shape, we're going to lie down along a bolster. So you might have a rolled out blanket, or you might have a pillow or a cushion. Whatever it is, see if you can get your tailbone down at one end and have your head supported at the other. If the tailbone hangs off the end, that's okay. We're just going to start by taking our arms down either side, so shoulders are heavy. And once you find this shape, just bring your awareness to the next breath. You might just sigh out. As you inhale, notice where the breath is in the body. Notice what it feels like to have the spine supported. The chest open, the heart open. You might like to scan through all the muscles in your face and see what you can soften. Maybe the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks. Your mind is wandering, invite it back to the next breath. You might breathe in through the nose. You might sigh out through the mouth or breathe out through the nose. You can follow a pattern. So we're going to see if we can bring the sensation onto the inside of our thighs now by simply turning the soles of our feet towards each other and allowing our knees to be heavy. Just let them open really slowly and press the soles of the feet in. The toes might touch. Notice if the spine starts to curl up, just keep the spine supported by the cushion behind. Take a big sigh. You might find your hip joints just slowly sinking into this shape. No pushing or forcing. Each out breath, you just go a little deeper. What you hear should feel a strong sensation in the hip joint, in the inner thigh. By connecting our kidney number 1 points underneath the foot, the bubbling spring point. You might notice this feeling of kidney energy moving up the body, inside of the shin, the inside of the thigh, all the way to back of the body where your kidneys are, where your adrenal glands are. This is a shape for our water element, our ability to adapt, to cope with change and transience, impermanence. Help us remember that things are always changing. Whenever we get too rigid or too stuck or too set in our ways, we tend to suffer. Take a moment to notice how far away you've drifted from your body. Let's invite the mind back in. We're going to slowly bring our knees back towards each other. And keep your elbows close to the body. Press through the elbows and we'll slowly bring up our head. Take your time. And this time we're going to bring our knees by the side of the body. So heel just by the hip, knees in front, ankles by the side. And you might just sit like this if there's Virasana when you're in a yoga class, or you might like to take a little bit of a deeper stretch into your quadriceps and come down onto your elbows. Just see how you go. No aspiration, just all you want is that strong sensation on the front of the legs. So you might get it being leaning back into the hands, or you might get it down on the elbows. Just see how you go. Once you have that feeling in the front of your legs, just let it be there. As we hold this shape, you might allow your mind to drift on this question. What is the part of me that never changes, no matter what happens to me? Let's take 3 more breaths in the shape. Just give each breath all the time it needs. Follow it. When you're ready, just walk the hands in towards the body. And we're going to take our bolster out of the way. And just slowly come up into all fours. Let's bring our knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, and we'll just take some rolls through the shoulders, roll through the hips. Any way that works for your body. You might like to take some cat-cows if you like. Just rolling through the spine. Noticing any points of tightness or tension. And we're going to step our foot outside. Let's take our left foot outside the left hand. You might just roll the right knee behind a little until you find a kind of deep stretch through the hip joint. And this might be where you want to stay. Feel that strong sensation. If it's calling you to go a little deeper, you might come down onto your elbows. Just arrive in a shape that you feel confident you can hold for a few moments. This is a deep form, strong sensation in that hip joint. Let it be there. Find the rhythm of your breath once you're here. You might even like to send the breath right to that hip joint. Feel your belly expand towards the thigh. We use these yin yoga shapes to teach us the difference between discomfort and pain. Pain is short and sharp. When you're in pain, you should come out of it straight away. It's just a message from the body. Discomfort tends to be a little more like a slow ache. Very unlikely we're going to get injured holding a still shape. It's when we move, when we react quickly that we get injured or we experience great pain. So just notice this feeling of discomfort and notice what it's like to hold it. We teach ourselves strength and resilience through being uncomfortable and not immediately needing to change it. If your mind has drifted a long way away, you might like to just invite it back to the next breath. Of course, if you do need to come out of the shape, come out of the shape. Just come out to a child's pose, maybe. All right, we're going to slowly come out of this shape. You might like to just lift the tailbone just a little, press through that back knee, take the foot behind. We're going to come down into a child's pose. So you might like to just take the arms behind, let the head be heavy.
We'll just be here a minute or two before we do the other side. Maybe you feel ready, just walk the hands back under the shoulders. Rest yourself up.
We'll come up into all fours again, and this time we're going to step our right foot outside the right hand. And then you might like to just inch back the left knee, just as far as is comfortable for you. Just like on the other side, you might like to come a little lower onto your elbows. You might notice this side feels a little different than the other. Bodies are not even. What can we learn about our body today? As we sink into this shape, hold the discomfort, we might ask ourselves another question. Maybe, what do I want to happen on this day? Remembering that so often we define what we want by what we don't want. Things we're trying to avoid, or maybe things we're craving. See how you go as your mind drifts on the question, what do I actually want to happen today? Take 3 more breaths here. Send that energy right to the hip. Just take your attention there. Wherever our attention goes, our energy follows. Let's roll back onto that back knee again. You might like to just inch that right leg back. And just take a few rolls through the shoulders and the hips again. Just noticing the difference in feeling now. When you're ready, we're going to walk our hands all the way forward, as far as they want to go. Drop the chest down, the head down. And you might tuck your toes, or you might untuck your toes, whatever feels best for you. We're looking for a strong sensation in the back of the shoulders. Just let the upper body be heavy. Take a big sigh. The end of your next breath. Just walk the hands slowly back. This time we're going to come down all the way on our body onto the mat. And you might like to thread your right arm under the body. And you might have your head just rest on the left arm under the head. Hips face down. Make sure your spine is not twisted. So this one, we're keeping the sensation on our shoulders. Notice that strong feeling in the top of your shoulder. Letting your weight be heavy. As we hold this shape, we might allow our mind to wander on the question of how can I use my unique skills and talents to serve the people I care about today? Everybody is unique. Notice wherever your mind takes you. It might be sharing of food, it might be time, it might be just the act of listening or noticing.
See if we can draw a little more movement into this shape. We're going to bend our left knee and just take the knee along the ground and lift it up towards your outstretched arms. So we're opening our hip. Just wherever is comfortable for your body. You'll feel this strong sensation in the hip again. Just notice this feeling of shoulder and opposite hip. Can you let go? Can you sink a little deeper? Let's bring our left hand to extend out on top of our right arm. You might like to just take a big breath in. We're going to open out into a twist. So we'll see if we can keep our knee heavy. Extend that breath. As we sigh out, lift that left arm, take it up, take all the time you can, as slow as you can. Keeping the shoulder heavy, the knee heavy. Just let your body slowly open out. Maybe after a few big sighs, your spine will twist and make sure there's no pushing, no forcing, no effort. When you're ready, we'll roll that arm back. Roll the body back onto the belly. Take your time. Once we come back onto the belly, we're going to thread our left arm under. Maybe resting our head on the right arm. Body is heavy to the mat. Extend our right knee, just roll it along the ground again. Open up that hip joint. Let's extend our right arm to meet the left. Take a big sigh, empty out. As our next breath comes, lift that right arm all the way over the body. Take your time though. Knee stays heavy. Just let your body open out when it sighs out. Might just come up halfway, it might come all the way over. Just listen and allow. Take a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, we're just going to keep taking that right leg over the body. So we're rolling onto our back. And we'll draw our knees into the chest. Maybe a little rock side to side. You might like to reach in between the legs. Just find your knees or your shins, keeping our spine heavy, our head heavy. Let's press our feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe still rocking a little side to side. Side out. Might like to once again just scan through the face, the forehead, the cheeks. Maybe curling the lips up into a little smile, just noticing that softness. And the last question, just to let our mind wander. What am I grateful for on this day? Yin yoga practice is a practice of allowing, accepting, of yielding, allowing ourselves to align with change, with transiency. It's also a practice of humility and gratitude. So just notice it might be the smallest thing. It might be just the meal that you had this morning, or the next glass of water. notice wherever your mind takes you as we slowly extend our legs long. Bring our arms by the side of the body, turn the palms up. What am I grateful for on this day? Might slowly invite mind back into your body, maybe wiggling toes, maybe stretching the fingers or rolling the wrists. Stick our arms above the head. And we'll roll onto the side of our body. Just holding it here for a few moments. And whenever you feel ready, just press under the shoulder and take your time pushing back up. Let's bring our hands to heart center. And as we always do, just take a moment in gratitude for coming to the mat on this day, for choosing to practice. And of course, acknowledging the shared energy of practicing together. Let's bow to each other.